Former Vice President Joe Biden continues to brush off criticism that he flubbed the details of a moving war hero story that he's used on the campaign trail to make a point about a generation. "I was making a point about a generation. That has nothing to do with a judgment of whether or not you send troops to war, the judgment of whether you bring someone home, the judgment of whether or not you decide on a healthcare policy. You understand that," Biden told NPR in Iowa over the weekend. Pressed further about the gaffe by co-host Asma Khalid, which he's shrugged off before, Biden called the mix-up of details irrelevant. "The details are irrelevant in terms of decision-making," he said. "The fact that I would forget that it was Major Gen. David Rodriguez who was pinning, I believe this is the case, pinning a Bronze Star on a young man it's irrelevant to the point. It's like saying, I had this very bright reporter and I think her eyes were blue. What difference would it make about whether you were a bright reporter? Your eyes are brown. It's irrelevant and you know it." The Washington Post reported last week that the stirring story about a Navy captain who refused a Silver Star because his comrade died was actually a mashup of 3 different events that the former VP had jumbled into one. Biden himself and his campaign have shrugged off the flab and have tried to revert attention back to his 2020 campaign, which he told NPR is completely different than what he and President Obama ran in the past, but also vastly unlike Hillary Clinton's bid 3 years ago. "We weren't facing anything that we're facing today with this president 3 years ago," said Biden. "The next president is going to have to be able to pull the world back together. Not a joke. Literally, not figuratively, pull the world back together. Reunite our allies. 4 more years of this president, there will be no NATO. Let's block ads."